Hello everybody, how is it going today? It is Tyler here with Zone In Sports, and in today's video, we will be recapping the Week 6 college football slate. We'll go over some of the key matchups over the past weekend and, go over how our picks went and stuff like that. And at the end, we will go over any early picks we have for Week 7, in the games that are before Saturday. But we'll go ahead and get right into the recap. Before we, go over all the games, I will go ahead and throw up a couple of winners we had on parlays. Of course, one of them I actually didn't give out on Twitter, but one of them I did, so we'll go over that one first. There's a 5-leg over on DraftKings. And the odds, I'm not sure what they were to start. They got adjusted because we ended up having a leg void. But we hit the Tennessee money line, man. They took care of business, whooped up on LSU. We had the Tulane money line hit as well as they beat East Carolina. And then the other two, North Carolina plus 8.5. They ended up getting the victory there over Miami, Florida. NC State money line, they hold on for the 2-point victory for us. And then Coastal. Good thing we bought them down to -7, man. We get the void there. I'll take that over a loss on that leg. So, it dropped our payout a decent amount. But either way, still turned $20 into $137. Nice little victory there. And then the other one was a 4-leg on FanDuel, and I might have put it out on Twitter. I didn't go check. I don't remember if I gave this one out or not. But it was one of the ones I made later in the day after we had a lot get screwed over by the likes of Maryland. But yeah, we went with Wake Forest double result in this one, along with the Kansas State money line, the Coastal Carolina double result, and the NC State money line in this one as well. Turned $25 into $147. So a couple nice little victories there, as we had a lot of our parlays missed by a leg or two throughout the day. It was tough, man. We had a lot of close ones, a lot of close calls, man. Maryland and Duke were the main culprits there. But we will go ahead and go over these games now, starting with Wednesday night. The first game of the week was actually a makeup game from the previous week due to the hurricane. Got moved to Wednesday, so technically a Week 6 game, and we gave out the UCF play. -2.5 is what we got them at. And they covered that easily, winning 41-19 over SMU. And yeah, they were actually down 13-10 at half, but in that second half, they took off on them. The defense really was able to hold their own and figured things out a lot better in that second half. The only touchdown they got in that fourth was late at the end, and it was for no reason. Them guys were playing like they were playing for like the tie or something still. It was wild. That coach is, I don't know, SMU's coach, I don't know. I'm not even going to say anything, but weird guy. Either way, nice victory there on UCF -2.5 to start the week off. Then we went into Friday night, taking 2 L's, man. We had Memphis money line. I cannot believe they blew that game, man. It was insane. Houston puts up 26 points in the fourth quarter to come back and win 33-32. They were able to score one late, and I think it was around a minute left. And then they get the onside kick and drive right down and score. It was tough to watch, man. I couldn't believe that Memphis did us like that, man. I don't know, man. Maybe I just don't mess with Houston games anymore. But the other one that night, UNLV, plus 7.5. Not even close. They get drilled 40-7 by San Jose State. I just didn't think San Jose State was really any good at all. They had looked good so far this year, but have played nothing but cupcake opponents, man. And UNLV, man, was a team that has been solid so far this year, and we bet them a couple of times. It hit for us. I liked them in this spot to keep the game close, and yeah, San Jose State just blew them out. Didn't get to watch this game at all, so I know San Jose State's quarterback had a couple of big, long runs. He had 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 340 total yards in the game. Yeah, UNLV's defense, not good. So moving into Saturday, of course, we will just go through the ranked games first, since that's how ESPN lists them once all the games are over for the week. You had Michigan. That was one of our teaser considerations. They did not cover the actual spread of 22.5, but they won by 21, so gave them out as a teaser consideration. So anything you bought them down to probably 19 or 20 or 17 or 16 would have been good to go there. It was a tough first half for him, man. Mike Hart going down on the sideline in the first quarter, I believe that was. Tough scenes, man, and everyone was emotional, and it took them a while to get back into the game, man. And second half went much better. Defense only allowed, I think, like 27 yards in that second half, and they got the job done, did what they needed to do to get out of there with a nice victory. Big matchup for them next week, man, against Penn State. I think we dropped to number 5 now, but either way, top 10 matchup, number 5 versus number 10, man. And I'm going to be there. I will be in Ann Arbor. I'll be out there probably all day, and I'll be at the game. It's going to be a good old time. But yeah, we'll go on to the next game. Number 1 Alabama escapes with a 24-20 victory over Texas A&M. Now, I don't care that Bryce Young was out. This game should not have been close. Texas A&M's offense has been terrible, and not like they did great in this game by any means, but come on, Bama. I don't care that you got another quarterback in. You're Bama. You should be able to insert whoever and just keep doing Bama things, right? Especially when your running back runs for 154 yards, and you're only able to find a way to score 24 points. And that's all between the second and third quarters. I don't know. I didn't mess with this game at all. Good thing I didn't. But, yeah. I wouldn't be too worried about Alabama as long as Bryce Young comes back, but I'm not sure, man. Texas A&M 3-3 on the year. Definitely not what I expected out of them. Georgia takes care of business, beating Auburn 42-10. Ohio State. It was, a little bit of a struggle at the very beginning, but they took off on them quickly. 49-20, man. They boom out. They cover the minus 26.5. We also gave out Ohio State as one of our teaser considerations, so they were able to cover that. Whatever you put them at, they got it. Got the job done. So Michigan State, man, they just continue to struggle. Very rough year, man. 2-4. No Big Ten wins yet. That's tough. We got Clemson, 31-3 victory over Boston College. So they covered the spread of 20.5. We gave them out as a teaser consideration, not a straight play. So even though they covered, it was just a teaser pick for us. So they covered that for us as well easily. I think I took them like minus 13 or 14. Yeah, that was easy victory there for Clemson. USC gets the victory 30-14 over Washington State. Solid victory for them there. They continue to go undefeated. And, I think they play Utah. Is that Utah this upcoming week? Or I don't know. Either way, USC, man, looks like they really might make a run this year. Oklahoma State, man, they get the win 41-31 over Texas Tech. This was a wild game, man. Halftime score had Texas Tech up 24-20. Lots of points. Oklahoma State's defense came up big in the second half, only allowing the 1 touchdown, and they get the 10-point win. Now, we did give out the straight play of minus 6.5 here for Oklahoma State, so that comes through for us. And then we also gave out the under as a teaser consideration, which I did buy it up to 72.5 in the plays that I made. And the under 72.5 hit, as the total was 72. So the straight pick hits of Oklahoma State minus 6.5, and the under teaser play hits as well. Man, they took care of business. We had a money line at LSU. They win 40-13. I felt very good about this play, but since it was at LSU, I wasn't like super duper confident and did not think it would go this easily. I thought they would probably win by 10-14, and instead they just blow them out by 27. There's a Nice game for Small out of the backfield, 127 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Now Hendon Hooker, had a great game throwing and had a few key runs as well. Definitely like that Tennessee team, man, and they got a huge test this week, man. They got Alabama, so that'll be a nice one to look at in our video for the next week's games. Moving on, you got Ole Miss getting the victory over Vanderbilt, 52-28. Gave them out as a teaser consideration as well, minus 16.5. They go on to cover that spread, so they easily cover whatever you teased them down to. UCLA, man, big victory over Utah, 42-32. The pick we gave out on this was the UCLA team total over 30.5. So they hit 42. So easy win there, and they get the victory, man. I considered taking them to the plus 3.5 as well, and decided against it. Wish I would have just done it, but either way, we were on the over 30.5 team total, and it hit, so we're good to go there. Big day from Charbonnet out of the backfield, man. 198 yards and a touchdown. DTR, man, about 300 through the air with 4 passing touchdowns. Their offense just was clicking very well, especially in that second half. It was 14-10 at half, and then they really took off there in the second. Another Pac-12 matchup, Oregon wins pretty easily over Arizona, 49-22. I'm not sure what the spread was there, but I know they covered. I can't remember if it was somewhere in that 16-22 range. But yeah, they cover easily. Kentucky, man, I didn't end up actually playing them at all, but I did give them out as a straight pick, minus 5.5, and they lose 24-14 to South Carolina because Will Levis was out. And either way, I honestly wasn't too worried about Levis being out. I thought they would still win just because of how good their defense is and the way their system is ran. Thought that they would be able to score enough to edge this game out, but offense just couldn't get it done, man. Only 178 yards through the air for Kentucky's quarterback. Yeah, South Carolina wins 24-14. NC State, man, that's a tough one. I'm glad they won because we had a money line on all of our parlays. But the straight pick was minus 2.5, and of course they only win by 2. 19-17. That'll happen, man. It's tough. Not often you see a 19-17 final score. You had Wake Forest win 45-10 over Army. Of course, I only gave this out as a teaser consideration at minus 16.5. They covered that easily, so anything you tease them down to, whether it's 12 or 13 or 9 or 10, whatever you did, double result. I played them in a couple. They was good to go, man. They won very, very easily. Army only got the 10 points late in the fourth when most of Wake Forest's backups were in. So nice, easy win there for Wake Forest. Notre Dame gets the victory over BYU, 28-20. Now, Notre Dame's definitely looked a lot better outside of those first couple matchups. Definitely seemed to figure things out. BYU, we gave them out as a straight play at plus 3.5. Did not cover that. In the parlay, I did take them plus 8.5, so barely covered there. But either way, the straight play does not come through. This BYU team, I don't understand what's happened to them. They look very different these last couple of weeks compared to how they started the year. And they were still winning games even with guys out before, so I don't want to hear those excuses now. So I'm not sure, man. This BYU team is an odd one. We'll have to watch the next couple of weeks, see what they do. Big top 25 matchup in the Big 12 as TCU went into Kansas and knocked them off 38-31. A big factor in this game was Daniels getting knocked out early. And the backup, man, he actually came in. I think his last name is Boone or something like that. Either way, he did very well. He, it was a little bit of a slow start, but once he got into the groove there in the second half, he was doing very well. It was a slow start to the game, man. 10-3 at half was very, very surprising to me, but both teams lit up the scoreboard in the third quarter. TCU holds on for the 7-point victory, but our straight pick was Kansas plus 7.5, and that comes through. They cover for us. Definitely wanted to see them win the game, man. It'd be cool to see them just keep on winning. Because they've won more games this year than I've seen in a long time, man. That is for sure. Definitely still think they'll be solid going forward. Hopefully Daniels is good to go. Number 20, Kansas State gets the victory. A close one, man. 10-9 as they get a field goal in the fourth to get that victory over Iowa State. We had Kansas State money line, man. That's why you don't lay -1.5 with the team, because things like this will happen. Even if you're super confident in it, all you're doing is say you're buying, I don't know. It depends how you're betting. You're looking at between a -110 to a -120. There's not much of a difference there. Don't lay -1.5 ever. It's just not something you should ever do. We go money line, and it comes through. 10-9, Kansas State victory. Doesn't matter how you get it done, but they got it done. Washington, man, they go into Arizona State and they lose. There's a big pick six that Penix had that definitely helped Arizona State out, but even regardless of that, man, Washington's defense is complete garbage. I don't understand how you give up this many points to a very, very bad Arizona State team. I'm just going to move on from it. Washington, you're back to just being garbage in my book at this point. I don't know. You can't lose to Arizona State, man. Mississippi State covers easily against Arkansas, who was without KJ Jefferson. That was a huge factor in this game, of course. We did not take this game at all. Did not want to mess with anything with Jefferson being out. Mississippi State, man, they've been looking good. That's a team the SEC should start talking about. They're 5-1, 2-1 in the conference. Been looking pretty good, man. I know they keep getting kind of lucky playing against teams' backups, but either way, you still got to get it done, and they're winning the games pretty well, so look out for Mississippi State going forward. And the last ranked team that was in action was Cincinnati, and wow, 28-24 over USF, a 1-5 team. Cincinnati only wins by 4 in a game that they were, I believe, favored by somewhere in that 16-22 range. I mean, I didn't get to watch it at all, of course, so I can't really comment on it much, but as Cincinnati, you can't be winning these games by 4 points. This is a game you should be winning easily. So, I don't know. We'll see how they match up the next couple of weeks. In the Red River Rivalry, we had Texas absolutely blow out Oklahoma, man, 49-0. Quinn Ewers was back for Texas. Big day for him, 289 with 4 touchdowns. And, Bijan Robinson, we talk about him a lot, man. He's running for over 100 again with 130 and 2 touchdowns. He is amazing. He is going to be very, very good in the NFL very soon. But, yeah, no Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma. I don't think it would have made much of a difference. They definitely would have been able to put points on the board, I'm sure, but this Oklahoma defense is very, very bad. Oklahoma, man, 3 losses in a row. This one was ugly. Texas back in the top 25, man. See if they can, maybe go on a run now with Ewers back. See what they can do in that Big 12 conference. See if they can challenge the likes of teams like Oklahoma State and TCU. In the Big 10, we had a tough one here. Maryland moneyline loses as Purdue wins 31-29. Very, very sick about this one. Maryland's 2-point conversion to tie it at the end was very, very close. The game I don't think should have been in that situation, though. Maryland's offense has got to do better earlier on. 17 in the first half is not bad, but you didn't score it all in the third quarter. You got to get at least another field goal somewhere before the fourth, and you would have been good to go, but instead, their offense just did not look as good as it normally does, and Aiden O'Connell went crazy for Purdue, 360 yards, man. Their tight end, Durham, had 109 yards and a touchdown. That's tough, man. Purdue goes into Maryland, beats them by 2. Tough loss on that Maryland money line. Louisville money line came through for us, though. 34-17 victory over Virginia. Now, I did warn on Twitter that we weren't going to be super heavy on this. Did have it in a couple parlays and whatnot, but no Malik Cunningham for Louisville, and it did not matter. Virginia did go out to that early 10-0 lead, and I was kind of worried, but after that, it was all Louisville, man. 34-17 victory. Nice win there. First win in the conference for them this year as well. My Eastern Michigan Eagles go into Western as underdogs and blow them out 45-23. Another MAC game. We had action on this one. Buffalo Moneyline comes through easily. 38-7 victory at Bowling Green. Definitely did not think this one would be one that I didn't have to worry about. I thought it'd be not like a close game, but I thought it'd be closer than 38-7. That is for sure. So, yeah, nice victory there for Buffalo Moneyline. Tulane Moneyline, another nice victory there for us, 24-9 over East Carolina. Tulane defense, man, they are looking good. That is for sure. They forced 3 field goals in this game and did not give up any points in the second half. Tulane 5-1 now, 2-0 in the American Conference. Definitely like this team. I know I mentioned it in the season preview video. Yeah, Tulane, man, looking good for us. Now, the other team with a similar name, Tulsa here, we gave them out as a teaser consideration at -5.5. Basically said just take a money line, and this game was not close. They get absolutely mollywopped by Navy, man. 53-21. Navy put up 26 in the second quarter alone, and that would have been enough to win the game. Their fullback, they run, triple option, like wing T style type stuff. Yeah, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns for that fullback there at Navy. That's insane, man. The Tulsa's defense did not look good at all in this one, man. Sometimes it's hard for these teams to figure out, these option teams. It's something I mentioned it in the last video, man. When I was giving out those picks, I was like, watch out for these teams against them academy schools, because, well, I shouldn't say academy schools, my bad. These academy programs. But yeah, 53-21, Navy blows them out. Very, very surprised at that one. Moving on, we will look at Toledo. Give them out at, I believe, -4.5. The line kept bouncing between that and 5.5. Either way, he was good to go. You could have took him -18, 19. He was good. They win by 20. 52-32 victory over Northern Illinois, who seems to be having a very, very bad year. One of the lower-end MAC schools thus far this season. But yeah, Toledo, man, we like them a lot. I've been betting on them for quite a while now. Both football and basketball, I like them a lot, man, the last couple of years. So, going to look forward to continue taking them going forward. Next up, we have Mid-Tennessee State plus 10.5 at UAB. Not even close. UAB jumps out to a big lead in that first half, as it was 38-7, man. They only get 1 field goal in the second half, but Mid-Tennessee just couldn't do anything on offense. They only get a touchdown in each half. UAB's running back, McBride, 120 yards on just 12 carries. That's 10 yards a carry, man, on his way to 3 touchdowns. Mid-Tennessee's defense just could not stop that run game. Just, wasn't expecting them really to win this game, but thought they would be able to keep it within 10 points, man. I mean, come on. We're talking about a team that went into an ACC environment in Miami and got a victory. Now, I definitely like UAB's offense much more than Miami's this year, but either way, Mid-Tennessee, I thought they would keep it within 10 points, man, and wasn't even close, so tough loss on that one. And another tough loss here. Duke money line against Georgia Tech. Or no, we gave out -2.5 as the straight play, but we had a money line and a parlay that ended up losing by just the one leg of them. And they went to overtime with Georgia Tech, and they missed a field goal that would have tied it at 23 to keep the game going. Now, the way the overtime rules work, and we probably would not have been able to cover the -2.5 unless they were able to win it in that next overtime, because after the second one, that's when you go to the alternating 2-point conversion. So that's why, I just play the money line in the parlays and whatnot, but the -2.5 straight play, man, this is a tough one, man. Their offense did not get going until that fourth quarter. Georgia Tech team just seems to want to play now that they got rid of their coach and the AD. I don't know. It's very odd to see that team just look very, very different these last couple of weeks than they did the first few weeks of the season. Tough loss, man. Thought Duke would be able to win that one easily. North Carolina beat Miami 27-24. They get the outright victory as underdogs. They were plus 3.5. We did give them out as a teaser consideration. Played them at like plus 7.5, plus 8.5. That obviously came through as they were able to win the game outright. Now, Miami's offense was actually able to put up some yardage in this one, very surprisingly, but still weren't able to finish drives, weren't able to score enough points. Like, how do you throw for 496 yards and only end up with 24 points? That's tough. You're not going to win games if you can't score when you throw that many yards. Another teaser consideration came through on the regular line, plus 6.5, Western Kentucky. So I think I took them plus 10.5 or 11.5. Either way, no matter what you did there, they covered. Only losing by 3 there to UTSA, 31-28. Nice little game there. Utah State, man, another team that has all of a sudden came alive the last couple of weeks after looking very, very, very bad to start the year. They were underdogs at home against Air Force, and they get the outright victory, 34-27. You see James Madison improve to 5-0 now as they win easily, 42-20 at Arkansas State. So, yeah, man, James Madison, first year in the FBS, and they're showing they belong, man. They have not slipped up yet, and they've been winning the games pretty handedly. Speaking of James Madison, they actually break into the top 25 AP poll with that 5-0 record. First season in the FBS, like I said, man, and they are already a top 25 team. It is wild. I don't think they should already be top 25. Like, yeah, if they keep winning, get them in there for sure, but there's probably some Power 5 teams that have 1 or 2 losses that aren't ranked that you should definitely put ahead of them. I mean, we're talking about quality competition here. Like, come on now. I mean, Sun Belt's actually a decent conference. I like that conference a lot, man. But James Madison, man, make them earn their stripes. Don't just put them in the top 25 already, man. It's kind of crazy to me. Almost as crazy as Texas State beating Appalachian State by 12, man. 36-24. App State off a bye. Thought they would look much better than this. Didn't have a play on the game at all, but Texas State win outright as dogs. We're seeing lots of outright victories by home dogs this week. Couple more games to wrap it up. What a matchup between Illinois and Iowa. 6-6 at the half, and it ends with Illinois getting a field goal at the end to win it 9-6. So I know we were hammering the Iowa unders a lot to start the year, and then I did not give it out for a couple weeks, and it didn't hit for those weeks that I didn't give it out. And we probably should have been back on it, especially with Illinois also being a very good defensive team so far this year. But with the number being so low, freaky things can happen in these games, especially in the college games, so you never know. But yeah, 9-6 victory for Illinois. Did not have anything on the game. Illinois, man, 5-1 now. So I don't know. As long as their quarterback is not too seriously injured, I did not really check on that. I know he got hurt. But if he's good to go, then that's a team to look out for on the west side of the Big Ten division. So we'll see how they do going forward. Coastal Carolina, they did not cover, but they did push as a teaser consideration on the -7. Double result, if you played that, was a victory. It's kind of a weird game as they scored all 28 in the first half. So I'm not really sure what happened unless they just tried running the clock the whole entire second half or what. But they, get the victory. Probably should have covered that -7 for me. Knocked off a good $70-$80 off that payout from that parlay we went over at the beginning of the video. But I'm just being salty right now. Nice victory for Coastal, man. They improved to 6-0 on the year. But yeah, that is pretty much going to do it for the recap. I will mention San Diego State barely beating Hawaii at home, 16-14. Now, I know San Diego State not an offensive team, but Hawaii is just complete garbage. No matter how you want to look at it, you got to be able to score more than 16 on a team like that, especially when you're at home, man. Oregon State also escaping with a victory against Stanford. Stanford 1-4 this year, man. They are still winless in the Pac-12 conference. But yeah, Oregon State, man, came back with 18 points in that fourth quarter and get that 28-27 victory. But yeah, that'll do it for the recap, man. Hit a nice couple little parlays. Out of the teaser considerations that we gave out, 9 of them hit. We gave out 11. 9 of them hit. Only 1 lost. And then the one push with Coastal down to -7. But if you go -6.5 for a double result, you would have been good. So our teaser considerations, man, went very well this week. The straight plays, 10-9. You know, of course, there's a few very, very, very tough beats with like the Duke one. Let's say Duke, NC State, Memphis, Maryland. All very, very tough beats. So 10-9 could have very easily been like 13-6, and that record sounds way better, but I'll take being slightly above 50%. I'll take it. I'll take a couple little parlay hits. So, yeah, you know, could have been better this past week, but could have been worse. You know, lots of volume, man. We give out a lot of picks. Not a lot of people do that. Most people are just giving out like 5 or so. So, we'll keep doing what we do. And, yeah, before we get out of here, we will go over a couple of these early matchups for the Week 7 slate. And we're only going to have 1 pick on any of the games before Saturday, but I will mention a couple. Marshall, some line movement here on Wednesday. Marshall hosts Louisiana. Remember, Louisiana team we were very high on going into the year, and they have been absolutely terrible. Marshall, a team that I still don't think we know what they are yet, and they're still figuring their stuff out as well. A lot of people have reacted to them beating Notre Dame. Now, Marshall's a team that I actually liked before they even beat Notre Dame, so I don't know. After they beat Notre Dame, they really, really looked bad the couple of weeks after that, so who knows? Maybe they're figuring it out now. This line, though, is what I want to look at. It opened as Marshall -7.5, and it has moved now to Marshall -10.5. So, yeah, that's kind of sketchy. I'm not going to have a play on the game at all, of course, but just wanted to mention that line movement, jumping 3 points like that. Just 2 teams that you just don't know what you're going to get out of them every week. Thursday, you got UCF, big favorites, -23.5 against Temple. They should cover that, but you won't see me laying 23.5 on a Thursday night. That is for sure. And then I'll mention the other Friday games before the Thursday game we have to pick on. But Friday we got SMU -12.5 hosting Navy. That is one that I think SMU could cover. But after Navy putting up 53 last week, I can't do it. SMU's only covered 1 game this season so far. And, yeah, Navy, if they keep that offense going with that option man, and SMU's defense is not very good, so will they be prepared enough for it? I'm not sure. Not going to mess with that game at all. And then the other one is a big spread as well. On Friday, you got UTSA going to Florida International, and UTSA is laying 33.5. That is a huge number there. Now, I definitely think UTSA wins this game very, very easily, but I mean, come Friday, I might go ahead and take Florida International. Depending on how this week goes for me, I might go ahead and take FIU plus the 33.5. Man, that's a lot of freaking points, man. Like, I could see UTSA getting up big early and then kind of just, cruising the rest of the way. Like, let's get out of here. Let's not get injured. Let's just, we got up big. Let's, just get out of there, Florida International, I know, is very, very bad. They are 2-3 this year. Haven't played very good opponents, and they're struggling. Only covered 1 game. But like I said, man, that is just a lot of freaking points. And I love UTSA. I love that squad for sure. They were good for me last year. I've been on them a couple times this year. But definitely not going to lay 33.5 on a Friday night. But if we're feeling frisky enough, might be on the FIU side. So we will update that one on Twitter. But we'll move back to Thursday now, as we will go over the one straight pick that we have on the early games. So remember, just the stuff before Saturday. Our video for Saturday, all the picks on that day will be up in the next couple of days, so be on the lookout for that. But we'll go ahead and get into this. Baylor, man, we're going to be on Baylor as they travel to West Virginia. Now remember, these odds could change, but right now Baylor laying 3.5. Over-under on the game is 54.5. Not going to mess with the total at all. I'm going to be on Baylor. I'm looking at this as we do this, and they do have the alternate spreads up right now. I'm going to go ahead and buy that point down. The minus 3.5 is minus 106, so minus 2.5 should be decent. Minus 138. I was expecting it closer to 130, like right on the 130 line, but 138, still not bad value, and it's well worth it for me personally to buy that point. I would hate for them to win by just a field goal and then not cover that 3.5 for us. So, yeah, we're going to be on a straight pick here. Baylor minus 2.5. Alternate line currently at minus 138. Now, if you want to wait till Thursday, you can. This line could move. I'm not sure if it will. It seems like they're kind of got it stuck here, and they're probably going to stick with it. But either way, we're going to be on Baylor minus 2.5, minus 138 on the alt spread right now. And we will go over a couple things here. Last year, Baylor was at home for the matchup, and they won 45-20 easily over West Virginia. Last year's Baylor team was definitely much, much better than this year's. But West Virginia, man, they're still they're okay, but I don't think they're good enough to beat Baylor, even at home. And in this head-to-head matchup, the home team usually does cover. I think they've covered actually 5 straight. But before we go over any other trends, we'll look at some stats. Baylor's offense is 47th in the country in total yards. West Virginia's defense 31st in yards allowed. So West Virginia defense does not give up a lot of yards, but when we look at points scored, West Virginia's defense is actually 92nd in the country. They're giving up about 30 a game. And on the other side, Baylor's offense is 26th in the country in points scored, with 37.5 a game. So, yeah, West Virginia's defense don't give up a lot of yards, but they give up the points somehow. They are much better against the rush than they are against the pass. And Baylor's actually better running the ball than they are passing, but they're still, a solid passing team. And I think they'll be able to do what they need to do offensively in this one to, be able to score enough points to cover that 2.5 for us. When you look at the defensive side, Baylor's defense is very good, man. Only allowing 20 points a game, 37th in the country there. West Virginia's offense actually pretty good as well. Right around the same spot as Baylor's offense, 24th in the country, averaging about 38 a game. But I like Baylor's defense much better than West Virginia's defense. And that's kind of where I'm leaning there. I know West Virginia scored a lot of points, man, but I just don't see it against the Baylor defense. It's going to be a close game, I'm sure, but I think Baylor will be able to get the job done in the end. We will go ahead and look at some trends real quick before we get out of here. Baylor has covered 13 of their last 18 overall. They've covered 4 of their last 5 on the road. They've covered 20 out of their last 26 following an ATS loss. So some solid numbers there. On the other side, West Virginia, they got some all right trends, but some that will help us. They are 2-5 against the spread their last 7 games on turf, and they are 1-5 against the spread their last 6 conference games. So, a couple decent little trends to help our side there. Now, remember, I do not use trends to make my picks. I just make my picks and then go find the trends that, support, because some people like to hear them. Some people like the stats. Some people like the trends. I mostly bet just how I feel and then just find the other stuff later. For football anyways. It's a little bit different for college basketball, but either way, Baylor minus 2.5, alternate line, minus 138 is our straight play here. Thursday night, remember, our only early pick of the week. And the rest of our picks for the full Saturday slate will be posted in a video in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I really appreciate everyone tuning in and listening. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And that'll do it. Have a nice day. Peace.